Good morning. We are going to continue on today with our learning target of I will be able to add and subtract decimals. This is the last actual lesson that you're going to get with adding and subtracting decimals. We're going to play a review game tomorrow, and then on Thursday you're going to have a quiz. Now I'm still going to meet with some of the groups, so if you need more practice, then you can absolutely join us for our small group before you take the quiz, but that will be on Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to get into our new topic of multiplication of whole numbers. And you all are going to have to be able to multiply 4-digit by 4-digit numbers, which is huge, but you're going to be able to do it. But first, we need to master this standard of adding and subtracting decimals. So, let's practice. First, I made us an anchor chart, and I took a picture and added it to your assignment also, in case you wanted to print it off and look at it. I know for me, it's always helpful when I have something that I can refer back to. Even if I know how to do it, looking at something kind of reassures me, like, okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing. So if you want to print this off and add it into your math notebook, you are absolutely more than welcome to. So let's just review what the steps are. First, we have line them up, line them up, line them up, line your decimals up. So line up your place values. So if I look at my practice problem over here of 16, it was 16 4/10 plus 2 83/100. I've got all my decimals lined up. I went ahead and even put it in my answer too so that I didn't accidentally forget it. Then I'm going to fill in any empty place values with 0. This is going to help me line up my place values because a lot of times decimals are missing numbers at the end. They have one number is to the tenths and one's to the hundredths. And our brain's not trained yet to look at those empty place values like zeros like we do for whole numbers. So let's add those zeros in to help us not forget to add or subtract, because a lot of times we make the biggest mistake when we're subtracting if there's not a place value there. So right here it was 16 4/10. I added a 0 so that I could have the same amount of place values in my hundredths place. 3, add or subtract. Don't forget to carry or regroup when needed. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is not necessarily with addition. Usually we do really good with addition. It's with subtraction. If we forget to put a 0 here, and sometimes even when we put a 0 here, we just drop this 3 down and say 3 minus 0. Well, you can't do that. You have to regroup. So do not forget to regroup when you're subtracting. Same rules with decimals than it is with whole numbers. And then step 4, if you didn't do it already, then you're going to bring your decimal down into your answer. All right, so let's do some practice, but before we do that, I've got a couple of vocabulary words that I want to remind you of. Estimating. What is estimating? Estimating is rounding before you solve. Rounding before you solve. So estimating is rounding before, and I'm going to put that in capital letters because estimating is to save you time, and if you don't round before you solve, if you round your answer, then you didn't save yourself time. So rounding before you solve. Okay, then we have sum. Don't say, give me some more waffles. It's not the kind of sum we're talking about, although waffles do sound good. The sum is the answer to what kind of problem? Sum is the answer to an addition problem. So the sum is the answer to an addition. I'm just going to put a plus sign there. And then we have difference. If sum is the answer to an addition problem, then what is difference? What's the other skill that we're working with? So difference is the answer to, I'm going to put parentheses around this, a subtraction problem. Okay, so let's start by estimating our answers for addition. So we have 23 4/10 plus 8 69/100. So if I look at, remember when I'm rounding, when I'm estimating decimals for addition and subtraction, I'm always going to round them to the nearest whole number, and the nearest whole number is always the ones place. Always the ones place. So I'm going to look at my ones place. It's a 4 below, let it go. Leave it alone. So that 23 is going to stay 23. I don't need to add the decimal at the end because it's all going to be 0, so it's just 23. Now I'm going to look at my ones place, an 8 and 69 hundredths. I have an 8. This is a 6, 5 and above. Give it a shove. Push it up to the next number. Plus 9. So 23 plus 9. So let's see. I know that 9 plus 1 is 10. So that would be, so if I took one away from this and added it to this, so that would be 10 plus 22. 10 plus 22 is 32. So my answer should be around 32. So let's try it out and see. So I'm going to follow my steps. First, line my decimals up. Remember, this is what I like to do. I like to just start by writing all my decimals. It just makes my life easier, and writing my addition or subtraction sign. Sometimes I forget that. Okay, then I'm going to fill in my numbers. So I have 23 and 4/10, 8 and 69 hundredths. I already realized that, hey, this number doesn't have a number in the hundredths place, so I'm going to go ahead and put that here. I could put it here if I wanted to. I'm not going to because I know with whole numbers that if there's not a place value there, it's a 0. All right, so now I'm going to add. This is adding. 0 plus 9 is 9. 4 plus 6 is 10. Got to regroup. Now remember, you can regroup over that decimal. Just think of it as a little pebble. If you saw a pebble on the ground, you would step over it. You could still keep walking. You wouldn't say, Mom, I can't move on. There's pebble on the floor. What do I do? That's not what you do. So 8 plus 3 plus 1. So I know 3 plus 1 is 4. Plus 8 is 12. I'm going to carry. 1 plus 2 is 3. So my answer is 32 and 9 hundredths. Is that close to my estimate of 32? It absolutely is. So I'm probably on track unless I made a silly addition mistake. All right, so this is my final answer. All right, and then step 2, or subtraction. Let me move this over just a little bit. So I'm going to estimate still first. So I still have my numbers here that I already rounded. It's the exact same problem, except I did a subtraction instead. So I still have 23 and 4/10, 8 and 69 hundredths, except I'm subtracting. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my numbers over. I know that this rounds to 23, and now it's a subtraction. This rounds to 9. So I know 23 minus 3 is 20, and then I take 6 more away, so that would be 14. So I decompose this 9 as a 6 and a 3. So then I took a 3 away first, and then I took 6 away to get my estimate of 14. So let's see. Let's follow my steps. Line them up, line them up, line them up, line your decimals up. Now I'm going to be subtracting. So let's fill in my numbers. 23, 4/10, 8, 69 hundredths. I need to do just like I did over here, especially with subtraction, because most people will just drop that 9 down when they're working really fast. So I'm going to put a 9 here. I'm not going to put a 9 there. I can't just put any number I want there. I need to put a 0 there because it has no value. 0 minus 9. Can't do it. A lot of people are going to write 9 there and just drop that 9 down. But you can't, if you have nothing, you can't take 9 away. So you have to regroup. So I'm going to take this 4 is going to turn to a 3. I'm going to borrow 10 of these tenths. I'm sorry, I'm going to borrow 1/10, which turns into 10 hundredths. 10 hundredths minus 9 hundredths is 100. 3 minus 6, I can't do it, so I have to regroup again. I can jump over that pebble. I can jump over that decimal place to borrow or to regroup. So I'm going to borrow a 1, which is the same as 10 tenths. So I'm going to add 10 to the 3 I already had. 13 minus 6 is 7. 13 minus 3 is 10. Minus 3 more is 7. 2 minus 8, I can't do it. So I've got to borrow again. This is a big one to regroup. 12 minus 8 is 4. And now 1 minus nothing is 1. 14 and 71 hundredths. This is my final answer. Let's check it against my estimate. Is it close to my estimate of 14? It is. All right, so you guys are going to have some practice today. You have a Google form, and then I'm also going to have you practice using Whiteboard to record yourself, and you're going to send it to me as an attachment. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. And I'm having you do it today because I want you to do it for your test because I want to see your work. So watch that video and then you can do your assignment. See you in small group. Bye. I forgot to tell you, the secret word is decimal. It's right behind me. Decimal. Okay, bye.